Respect is often decided before you ever speak. People notice your face, your pace, your silence, your eyes, and the way you carry pressure before they care about your words. In quiet moments, human beings make fast choices about who feels solid, who feels unsure, and who bends too easily. That is the strange part. The room is always reading you, even when you think nothing is happening. A person can lose status by trying too hard to be liked, and another person can gain it by doing almost nothing at all. Not because they are louder, colder, or more powerful, but because they send signals that feel steady. If you understand those signals, you can change how people respond to you without forcing anything. And once you see them, you start noticing them everywhere. The first signal is how comfortable you are with silence. Imagine you are in a meeting and someone makes a sharp comment that is meant to put you on the spot. Most people rush to fill the air. They explain too much, laugh nervously, or defend themselves before they even think. But the person who pauses, breathes, and answers only when ready instantly feels different. That pause creates weight. Psychology shows that people often connect calm control with confidence because panic usually leaks out through speed. Silence, when it is calm and deliberate, tells people that you are not afraid of tension. And people respect those who do not crumble when the room gets uncomfortable. The second signal is your relationship with eye contact. Think about two people greeting the same stranger. One person gives quick, darting glances, looks down often, and smiles too much as if asking for approval. The other person looks at them directly for a moment, not in a hard or aggressive way, but in a steady and relaxed way. That second person usually leaves a stronger impression. Human beings are deeply sensitive to the eyes because the eyes help us measure safety, honesty, and strength. Too little eye contact can look anxious. Too much can look threatening. But calm, balanced eye contact sends a simple message. I am here, I am aware, and I do not need to hide. That alone can shift how seriously people take you. Now here is where it gets deeper. Respect is not only about what you show, it is also about what you refuse to chase. The third signal is not over-explaining yourself. Imagine you say no to something, maybe extra work, a last-minute favor, or an invitation you do not want. Then, the pressure begins. Why not? Are you busy? Come on, it is not a big deal. Many people start building a long defense because they want to seem reasonable. But the more a person explains a simple boundary, the more it can sound like they need permission. A short, calm answer often carries more authority. Psychology calls this a status cue. People who believe they have the right to choose usually do not perform long speeches to justify every decision. When your boundary is clear and peaceful, people may not always like it, but they are far more likely to respect it. The fourth signal is emotional control under pressure. Picture a family dinner, a group chat, or a workplace where one difficult person likes to provoke reactions. They interrupt, mock, test, and push until someone snaps. Most people think respect comes from winning that moment with sharper words, but often the opposite is true. The person who stays composed while the other person becomes messy usually comes out stronger. This happens because emotional control sends a message of internal power. When someone can drag your mood around with a few words, they control the frame. But when they fail to shake you, the frame shifts back to you. This does not mean becoming cold or robotic. It means your emotions belong to you. People notice that more than they admit. The fifth signal is pace. Not just walking pace, but life pace. Think about the person who always rushes into rooms, talks too fast, grabs their phone every few seconds, and reacts to every message like an emergency. Then, think about the person who moves with intention, takes a seat without fidgeting, finishes one action before the next, and never seems desperate for attention. Which one feels more grounded? In social psychology, urgency often reads as lower control, especially when it seems driven by approval or fear. A measured pace tells people your mind is not being dragged in 10 directions at once. It creates the feeling that you choose your actions instead of being ruled by them. In a world that rewards speed, calm slowness can feel almost powerful. The sixth signal is taking up space without apology. This one is subtle, but it changes everything. Imagine waiting in line, sitting in a classroom, or standing in a group conversation. One person folds into themselves, shrinks their body, steps aside too quickly, and acts sorry for existing. Another person stands straight, keeps their shoulders relaxed, and occupies their place naturally without pushing anyone else around. The second person usually receives different treatment. Human beings constantly read posture as a clue about self-worth. If your body looks like it expects to be dismissed, people often do dismiss it. If your body looks settled and present, people feel that too. Respect often begins in the body long before it reaches language. But there is another layer that many people miss. The seventh signal is not needing to prove your value. Imagine someone casually mentions an achievement, and another person immediately starts listing their own success, their contacts, their money, or their intelligence. It is common, and it usually feels insecure. Now picture someone who clearly knows what they bring, but does not rush to advertise it. They answer simply. They do not compete for every spotlight. They let their actions speak over time. This creates a powerful effect because people are drawn to those who seem certain without demanding constant validation. When someone is always proving, people sense doubt beneath the performance. Quiet certainty often feels stronger than loud self-promotion. The eighth signal is selective attention. This one changes social power fast. In every room, attention is a kind of currency. People can feel when you give it away too freely. Think about someone who laughs at every joke, responds instantly to every person, and constantly scans the room for signs of acceptance. That behavior tells others that your attention is easy to get. But when you listen carefully, respond with intention, and do not give everyone equal access to your energy, your presence feels more valuable. This is not about acting arrogant. It is about showing that your focus means something. Psychology tells us that scarcity changes value. When your attention feels grounded and intentional, people treat it differently. The ninth signal is consistency. Imagine a manager, a friend, or a partner who seems confident one day and insecure the next, kind one moment and reactive the next, firm in private and weak in public. People struggle to respect what they cannot predict. The human nervous system is always searching for patterns because patterns help us feel safe. A person who is steady becomes easier to trust, and trust is deeply connected to respect. This is why small, repeated behaviors matter more than dramatic moments. Showing up on time, keeping your word, staying calm, and acting by the same values when no one is watching creates a silent reputation. Over time, consistency becomes a kind of invisible authority. The 10th signal is the ability to walk away. This is one of the strongest signals of all, and it frightens people because it reveals the truth. Imagine a friendship where someone constantly disrespects you, a job where your effort is used but never valued, or a relationship where your boundaries mean nothing. Many people stay and keep negotiating because they fear loss, but the person who can quietly leave what dishonors them sends the clearest message possible. Their dignity is not for sale. Psychology shows that power often belongs to the person least controlled by fear of rejection. When people know you will stay anywhere just to avoid being alone, they feel your dependence. When they know you can leave, they feel your standards. And this is where everything connects. Respect is not some trick hidden in body language alone. It is the outer reflection of an inner decision. You stop begging to be chosen. You stop shaping yourself around every mood in the room. You stop trying to force people to see your value, and you begin living as if your value is already real. That shift changes your face, your timing, your posture, your tone, and your silence. It changes how long you hold eye contact, how quickly you react, and how much nonsense you tolerate. People can feel when someone is trying to borrow respect from performance. They can also feel when someone has built it quietly inside themselves. That is why the most respected people are not always the loudest, funniest, richest, or most charming. Very often, they are the ones who seem hard to shake. They carry a kind of calm that makes others adjust themselves. So if you want respect without saying a word, start where words cannot help you. Slow your reactions, hold your gaze, protect your attention. Stand like you belong in your own life. Let silence breathe when others rush to fill it, and when something costs too much of your dignity, be willing to leave it behind. Because the deepest form of respect begins the moment you stop asking the world for permission to exist.